Chattisfying.
I've been thinking about switching, not necessarily switching, but trying like a week or two or like a trial run of streaming on YouTube to see if that would benefit me in any sort of way. Because I had a friend who's doing that and he's been averaging better numbers just because he has more of a YouTube base rather than a Twitch base. So that's something that I've wanted to try, but I know that just you can't necessarily convince somebody like, hey, I know you like this. This is completely different from that. You'll love this.
Yeah.
It's really hard to just like convince them otherwise, you know?
I've also found that there's been I wouldn't say all of them, but there's been quite a decent majority that I've had coming in and going from Twitch that do not like YouTube, which is very strange because I quite like both platforms. It's kind of nice. The more content for me, the better. You know, and to be fair, what I watch on YouTube is completely different to what I would watch on here anyway.
Yeah.
Because on Twitch, I enjoy having conversations and, making dirty jokes at Mellar to make him laugh when he's trying to concentrate at a game and stuff like that. You know, I enjoy the interaction. Whereas if I want to watch YouTube, it's usually like this telling a story or it's like lore details and stuff like that. So I can understand the search parameters are different on that one, which is cool. But it's just kind of shocked me the amount of people, because I was talking about this. I did my first stream of the year literally on January 1st, and Twitch had a hissy fit and just like everything was going wrong and breaking. And I think you were there for that, Mels, right?
I was about that day.
Yeah, and I just thought this is irritating me because there's so many different things that happen, little bits here, little bits there, latency issues, all that kind of stuff. So I thought I'm just gonna try YouTube one day and give it a go. And then I had a load of people going, I'm never gonna watch YouTube live, and I'm like, but it's ultimately I don't think you've got a chat room. You got some random emote things that happen that people like to play with emotes. It's fine. You have a subby thing if you want to do the subby thing. There isn't that much difference for the streaming perspective as a viewer. I don't think it's just literally one's red, one's purple. You know, I've never really understood that. Really.
I don't know. I think there's a lot that Twitch now does provide. It's taken them a long time to get there. But there's a lot that Twitch now provides that a lot of other platforms don't. I think people kind of get make a home in Twitch. Even people that don't stream and just watch. And to then kind of sort of unseat them and say, hey, go to YouTube. To do something you wouldn't normally do on YouTube is quite difficult, because you'd normally wouldn't watch live content on YouTube, especially if you're a Twitcher, you know? I was just going to say as well, I think the type of, like what Navelo was saying, the type of content that you watch and the reason why you watch it, like Twitch compared to YouTube, generally, I think most people watch Twitch for the interaction. Not everyone, obviously. There's loads of people that just sit and lurk to watch the game or the streamer just being a tit, for example. And that's absolutely fine. That's brilliant. But I think quite a lot of people go to Twitch for the interaction, and then they'll go to YouTube for the content, as in, you know, the game that's being played or what the guy's talking about. It's a completely different kind of interaction between the two. I think a lot of people do see them, as you obviously do, as separate entities, and you wouldn't necessarily want to, like, I think the users don't necessarily want to like cross platform in that way.
Yeah,
even though we might want them to.
I know Soda Pop, and like I'm assuming that you guys both know who he is.
Oh yeah,
massive person. Like he streams on Twitch, and that's basically all he does. And he has a person who literally runs his YouTube channel. Like this I've heard this story multiple times. This one Twitch like viewer came into Soda Pop in the stream and said, "Hey, I love your newest video." Soda Pop was like, I uploaded? Like, he literally does not know anything that goes on with his YouTube channel. He does not pay any mind to it, and he just pays somebody like, hey, you upload what you want on that channel of me. I'll give you a split. Call it a day. So it's just, they're completely different entities. I think personally they could work in harmony, but it's like you were saying, it's blue versus red. Yeah. It's kind of like the whole PS4 versus Xbox thing. It's like,
we all know it's the Wii.
The Wii, baby.
Say this to FPS streamer.
Look, you can do it with the controller. It's fine.
Yeah, Wii Sports was amazing. I can't say, but it's just like I don't understand. I understand where you're coming from. Like, I don't really. It doesn't make any sense to why a Twitch streamer wouldn't like a YouTube stream. It's obviously there's some minor differences, but at the core of it, it's the same exact thing. Same thing. It's just like PlayStation versus Xbox. You have a controller, you have a console, you're capped at some odd frame rate. You know, there's some like differences between like the processor, the GPU, or the RAM, or the hard drive. But all in all, at the core, it's the same exact thing. I think it's just more of like I'm loyal to this.
It's what you get used to, isn't it?
Coke, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a Pepsi Coke thing. It's just what you're loyal to. And I agree with what Mellar said. I think it is taking Twitch a unbelievably unfair amount of like time to be able to like do what they should be doing all in all. And I think Twitch is just the better streaming platform, period. Like it's very hard to be discovered on it, and that's just how Twitch is. Like it's not necessarily like Twitch can definitely do different things that they haven't done yet to be able to help with that problem, but it's not like it's completely Twitch's fault. There's just so many people streaming. There's more people streaming than there are people watching. Obviously that's probably not true, but it's just so close that it's just like very hard to be able to grow on doing something like that. So I think personally for me, which is a reason why I want to try YouTube streaming, is personally for me, since I have more of a YouTube base, people will get the notification, hey, I'm live, and they might come in. So I think personally for me, I might work out better. Who knows? I'll have to try it. But I think it's just definitely a very personal thing.
It'd be kind of interesting to see the comparison data between the two.
Yeah.
Yes, it really would.
Yeah. I agree with
Let's do it for science. Fuck it.
I agree
with the spreadsheet out.
I agree with what Beaner Ben said. Sorry, Beaner Bean in chat. It's actually something that I think Nave said as well, about how it's almost impossible to actually find live streams on YouTube. It's actually really hard to actually find the content that you want. Whereas at least on Twitch, it's relatively easy to at least find the game that you want to watch.
Yeah, there's a lot more subcategories. Like I know personally with Apex, I don't really venture off with other games, but I know with Apex, you can sort the streams by legends, like by character. So if a certain streamer is playing like Wraith and you really like that legend, right? You can click on a button and Twitch will sort the all the streamers by playing that certain legend. So there's definitely ways to be able to be discovered. It's still very hard, but at least Twitch is like giving it a go. And I agree with what Bean is saying. It's just like YouTube does a very poor job of making Twitch or YouTube streams available. You basically already have to be sub to the person, post notifications on to be able to see that. If you have that, then it's better than Twitch, in my opinion. But if you don't have that, Twitch is just better at discovering people because it just has those abilities that YouTube just has yet to implement.
For sure.
Chattisfying.